Alright, y'all. This is the one that I was not looking forward to doing because I have such love for the first Karate Kid, and I even got love for the second one. But 3, god damn it. Karate Kid Part 3, I think most would agree, is the worst of the series. At the same time, I could watch this movie over the Jaden Smith Karate Kid because that doesn't even count. He wasn't even learning karate, he was learning kung fu. It should have been called the Kung Fu Kid. It has nothing to do with this universe. So scratch that. And the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank, that doesn't count either. I don't know if it's canon for Cobra Kai, but that shouldn't count either. It's only 3 movies. Karate Kid Part 2, Karate Kid Part 3. Part 3 is easily the weakest of these 3 movies. But I'm going to have a transparent moment with you right now. I'm going to be transparent with you. When I watched this back in, I didn't see this in the movies, but HBO aired it the next summer. Summer 1990, they aired it over and over again. Sometimes they show that shit 2 or 3 times a day. And each time I was all in. So yes, there was a time in my life where I thought Karate Kid 3 was the greatest movie ever. And just like the first movie, I tried to force this shit on everybody. I didn't know any better, y'all. When I watch it now, and my daughter watched it with me, I realize that this movie is not really good. It's not. First of all, Ralph Macchio doesn't even look like a kid anymore. Okay, in the first movie, he was 22, 23, but he could still pass for a teenager. He can pass for a 15 to 16-year-old. 2, he can still kind of pass for, but you can tell he aged a little bit. And then by the third one, he's fatter. He looks older. He doesn't look like a teen at all, and doesn't even look like he can do karate. Ralph Macchio in 3 looked like he can't even lift his fucking leg up. How the hell are he gonna do karate? Speaking of which, this is the 3rd movie. By this time, Daniel should be damn near a master. Miyagi-Do proved in the first movie that it's more effective than Cobra Kai because Daniel took out the whole Cobra Kai during the tournament. Part 2, they go to Okinawa. Miyagi's rival, Sato, who was also Miyagi-Do. Daniel was able to defeat Sato's #1 student. They're both Miyagi-Do. Daniel should be a fucking master by now. Mr. Miyagi in this universe is untouchable. He's unbeatable. I think Chosen got 1 lick on him in Part 2, but other than that, Kreese couldn't touch him. Can't nobody touch Miyagi. And Daniel is his only student, his #1 student. Daniel should be a master. Why is Daniel still getting his ass kicked? Why? This is the 3rd movie. You should be able to be cutting flips, doing Van Damme kicks and everything. You are still getting your ass kicked. There's a new villain in this movie, Mike Barnes. If I hadn't said it, by the way, yeah, spoilers. There's a new villain in this movie, Mike Barnes. And Mike Barnes is probably Mike Barnes and Terry Silver are the best parts of this movie. They're the only thing that makes the movie really watchable. Pat Morita as Miyagi looks like he's just coasting by. Like, he's still good as Miyagi, but not as charismatic and cool as he was in the first 2 movies. But he did have a cool Miyagi moment. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But Terry Silver and Mike Barnes are the 2 shining stars in this movie. So Mike Barnes is a new bad guy. You know, he's supposed to be better than Johnny, better than Chosen. This is the toughest opponent Daniel's ever faced. By the way, played by Sean Kanan, I think his name is. I hope he makes an appearance in Cobra Kai Season 3. Mike Barnes is like Ivan Drago to Daniel in this movie. Daniel can't fuck with this guy at all. Even in the tournament. In the tournament, Mike could have beat him easily, but Mike decided to toy with him, if you remember. Mike decided to toy with him, and then at the end, when Miyagi gave him that pep talk, and then the Bill Conti music kicks, and that's when Daniel finally got the guts to finally beat the great Mike Barnes. This movie was so disappointing on so many levels. It's pretty much a retread of the first movie, and I think as a kid, that's why I gravitated toward this movie, because the second one got away from the magic of the first movie. So I guess John G. Avildsen, who directed the other 2, said, okay, well, let's try to redo what we did in the first movie, see if we can catch lightning in a bottle again. Wrong. It did not work. This movie is almost a reboot, or not reboot, but it's a copycat of the first movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the love interest, all right? Each movie, Daniel has a love interest. In this movie, it's a love interest, but then it's not. She starts out as a love interest, but then she becomes a friend because at first she's like, yeah, let me talk to this kid, you know, whatever, whatever. And then, oh, by the way, yeah, I have a boyfriend and we're going to make it work out, so that's a no-go. And Daniel's all excited like, okay, now it's cool. Hey, we can be friends. Fuck out of here. No. No, we can be friends. I heard behind the scenes, I heard that the way the script was written, she was supposed to be a love interest, but then Ralph Macchio was married at the time, said nah, because his wife didn't feel comfortable with him being with the chick on screen. And so I don't know how true that is. That's what I heard. But yeah, so yeah, she was just a friend. And another thing I'm going to say about Ralph Macchio's performance is that he was, I don't know if the director told him to do this, or if Ralph Macchio just decided that's where his character was at this point. But am I tripping, or was Daniel just really hyper in this movie? Daniel was like on acid and speed at the same time. This dude was like just super, like just hypering all over the place in every scene he was in. I don't think I watched a scene in this movie where Daniel was actually calm. Maybe once or twice, but for the most part, he was always yelling, he was always frantic, he was always worrying, he was always pouting. It got annoying after a while. Me and my daughter both agreed, like, Daniel is very annoying in this movie. He is. I think my favorite parts of 3 is when Daniel wasn't on screen. My favorite parts are with Terry Silver, played by, I think his name is Thomas Ian Griffith, I think his name is, in his first film. And Terry Silver is over-the-top, cartoonish movie villain, but at least he's fun to watch. All right, this franchise got away from the grounded, heartwarming feeling of the first movie, and this has become sort of a comic book type, Saturday morning type deal. Terry Silver's like always laughing with that maniacal laugh, and he's got this. Mind you, he's a billionaire. I think he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire or a millionaire. He's rich. And he has nothing better to do with his time than to get back at the motherfuckers that hurt his best friend. So forget all your business deals, forget all the millions that you can make. You're going to stop making money to personally go see about Daniel and Miyagi and make them suffer for what they did to John Kreese. And John Kreese is in this movie, Martin Kove, and I think Martin Kove, he did it. He's pretty much playing the same kind of Kreese he did in Cobra Kai, so I didn't mind him that much. But once again, he got away from in the first movie where he was quiet, but he was menacing. All he had to do was give you a look, and you knew he meant business. In this movie, once again, he's laughing. He's, yes, we must get Daniel and Miyagi for what they did to me. Hey, Terry, make their knuckles bleed. Nah, sorry. The thing I did like about this movie, okay, the scene I think I liked most in this movie was near the end, and here they go doing landscaping. As soon as I do a video, fuck y'all. So the scene where Daniel finds out that Terry Silver is a fraud and he just used him and he's trying to escape, and then, Kreese comes out and they reveal their diabolical plan to get back at them, and he tries to leave. Mike Barnes goes after him. Miyagi throws Mike through the door. That whole scene was ill. Like, that was my favorite part of the whole movie. And so Miyagi takes out Mike Barnes, he takes out Kreese, and he saves Terry Silver for last. And that iconic, funny scene where Terry Silver's doing the whole wah, wah. And then Miyagi flips and does it back to him. Best part of the movie. Once again, the karate is a weak point. Ralph Macchio is even more not believable now. You don't believe for a minute that Ralph Macchio is a karate kid. He's more like the karate man, and not even that. Like, Daniel LaRusso in this movie is that 40-year-old has-been that once did karate back when he was a kid and think he still has it. Daniel LaRusso in Cobra Kai is more believable than him in this movie, and he's like 30 years older. What's wrong with that picture? But there's still some enjoyment. I know I'm shitting on this movie just because it's a Karate Kid movie, and I have standards when it comes to this universe, this franchise. But there were some highlights, some decent villains, overacting by Ralph Macchio. The musical score is also a highlight in this film. I think Bill Conti did a great job with the musical score. I think this is probably his best scored. No, I still say the first one, but this was scored better than 2, I think. I think that the musical score in this was really helped the film. Other than that, This is one of those movies where if you have to watch this whole series, just you watch this just to get it over with. Just because you know it's canon for Cobra Kai, you just have to get this over with. But if it was up to me, I just say watch the first two movies. But yeah, if you really want to get the full experience of this universe of Cobra Kai, you gotta watch 3. Just get it over with, y'all. It's not terrible, but it's not really that good either. That's one thing that always bothered me about this franchise, though, is that Daniel is like, that's Miyagi's his student, his #1 guy, and he gets beat up every single movie up until the end. So either Daniel's just a horrible student or Miyagi's just a bad teacher. How is it Miyagi disposes of everybody easily except Sato? Him and Sato never fought, but Miyagi goes through everybody easily, like a knife through warm butter. But his student can't do shit. His student can't fuck with nobody. But luckily, the writers realized this, and they made Daniel somewhat of a badass in Cobra Kai, so I appreciate that. So, yeah, but still, even as a teacher, he's definitely no Miyagi. I think, actually, Daniel's probably the worst fucking sensei ever because his instructions are for shit. Anyways, y'all, I keep saying Cobra Kai. Grading Karate Kid 3. This shit gets a C-. As bad as I shit on it, I know I should have gave it a worse grade, but because of my love for these characters, my love for this universe, for this franchise, I can't shit on it all the way. So I will give it a C-, borderline D. That's all I got for Karate Kid 3, y'all. I know I'm probably missing something, but yeah. Anyways, what did you guys think about the movie? Comment freely below. If you like it, did the content, hit that like and subscribe notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.